and welcome to episode 132 of Spatial Realities, your podcast for all professionals involved in XR, spatial computing, and the metaverse. My name is Thomas Riedel, host of the podcast and tech journalist from Cologne, Germany. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host Thomas Bedenk, one of the most experienced XR experts in Berlin. Greetings.
Hi, Thomas. A lot of X's in your initial words.
Yes.
XR, expert, experienced.
Now today we are talking about a topic which you are an absolute expert in.
A big fan.
And a big fan. We got blessed by more AI glasses by Meta. More models, more styles, new branding. Of course, you immediately jumped to meta.com and ordered all the different styles, I'm pretty sure, especially the one which looks like Matrix.
Not sure what to say about that. No, I didn't, but let's discuss what they are. The new Meta glasses you're probably talking about, right?
Absolutely. And there are also a lot more models from other companies. Do you know the Smart Glasses Guide by Oscar Falmer?
I saw it. I don't know much about it, honestly.
Yeah, he's really doing great work there and putting all the models into one fat sheet. And there are already 78 models in there. And these are not 78 models in the sense of all the color configurations and lens configurations. These are just the basic models, and we're reaching 78, which is crazy from all the different manufacturers. So, yeah, it's getting big. It's getting huge in the different models and companies participating, and that's getting interesting, to be honest.
Yes and no, because I remember probably a year ago or 2 years ago when we talked about these topics, I said, I don't think it's so hard to make them anymore. Someone argued it's actually more complicated than you think. Maybe it is. But you see, with all those devices from so many different manufacturers, it can't be that complicated to manufacture. Right. Yeah. So compared to specs or whatever, where it was super heavy engineering. And here it's almost becoming a commodity to have AI glasses. And that's why we see so many models, because it's relatively easy to pump them out, I would say.
Yeah. I guess what Meta is doing is using the technology which is already accessible together with EssilorLuxottica, but trying to give them a little bit of design and a little bit of functionality. We're going to find out in this episode what Meta's actually doing. And we also have some nice perspectives I gathered from the interwebs, for example, from Ori Inbar, Anthony Vitillo, and Sophia Morshasha. So stay tuned. And Thomas,
quotes. I love how you just said a little bit of design and a little bit of functionality.
Of course.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yes, and we're talking about smart glasses here in Germany. We're two Germans, actually, very German guys, Thomas and Thomas, white dudes, 183 tall, mid-age 40 plus guys. So we can't be more German than us. And we're talking in Germany about smart glasses where more locations like baths are banning smart glasses. As creepy men as us have been catched recording people. So it's really nice tension here. One side, technology, which gets widespread. Maybe something is moving here. And on the other side, we are seeing first tries to ban smart glasses. Maybe like the first smartphones being banned or digital cameras in bus. So very interesting thing. First question to you, Thomas. What do you think? What kind of people buy smart glasses?
Could be anyone. It's from people just walking in the glasses store, and that's a good thing. That's what they're trying to achieve, right? They want the general audience to buy these glasses, and that's a big advantage of AI glasses in terms of being able to sell them, because they are very close in form factor to sunglasses, and so nothing of that perspective, like comfort, is really holding you back in buying them. There are glasses without the smart functionality that are way more expensive than the ones with, so price is also not much of an issue, right? So there are a lot of things in terms of selling these. There are a lot of things speaking for them as a fashion statement, as just trying it out, a gimmick, something else tech to buy. Like if you already have everything, what are you going to buy next? In that kind of sense, it makes a lot of sense. I'm, as you know, very hesitant in their utility. They're very bad in audio quality. You don't want to listen to music with them. The cameras are relatively bad. You don't want to take pictures with them really because they're not good enough. Maybe some videos because they give you this point of view perspective. But I personally wouldn't know what to do with them. I mean, I can think of some professional use cases where maybe just having that audio with hands-free is a plus. But yeah, you know me. I'm pretty much doubting this will be like this thing that everyone wants to have very soon.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you're the perfect co-host today, because we are both named the same way, but we have very different views on that. I'm wearing the glasses since over 2 years now, and completely different view, and that's great. And why are we talking today about Meta again? I mean, it seems like they're just doing the same thing they're doing since 3 years or so. Meta is introducing Meta glasses, which is their own new category. What Meta did in the past was they partnered with EssilorLuxottica, which is an Italian-French company, the biggest glasses company in the world, also a technology company, perfect in manufacturing glasses and lenses and stuff like that. They were known for partnering with them to deliver glasses which look good and which make them mainstream. But now they are doing something which we said other manufacturers shouldn't do: take their own brand and try it by their own. We were talking about the Apple glasses. We were wondering, okay, will Apple do the same thing? Like, what kind of brand do they use? Or do they just use the Apple brand for their glasses? Now Meta is doing it before Apple is doing it and just calls them Meta glasses. And they're introducing them like it is a totally new product. And that's, I guess, a very interesting thing to say here. And they say that about themselves: the ideal device to experience an all-day AI assistant that understands the world from your perspective. Yeah, nothing special here, but of course they want to wrap their AI assistant in there. And they do. The glasses are powered by the new Model Muse Spark, which will premiere on those glasses. So they launched 3 new models. The Adventurer comes in 8 colors, Fury in 7 colors, and Meta Glasses Starfire Kylie Edition, which is the one we were talking before. Like Kylie is a fashion icon, influencer, little pop star, comes in 2 colors. And concerning the specs, it's really, really fast to talk about them because they have the same specs as the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2. So same battery, same camera, everything is the same except one thing, and that's a little bit of a surprise. They also have the comfortable overextension hinges from the recent Ray-Ban Meta Optic Styles glasses, and they have adjustable nose bridges. And they have been only available on the Ray-Ban Meta glasses for an extra price. When you have listened to my review of the Meta Ray-Bans Gen 1, you know that these are fixed frames which you cannot customize for your face, which means when they don't fit your face, you can't do anything about it. And I have been talking about the pain I had in the back of my head because they were actually pretty hard to my skull. So I had to go through 6 months of pain to get used to it. Now I'm used to it, but I also have little pressure marks at my skull. And if you find my body somewhere, you can identify me with those marks behind my ears. Yes. So far to the specs. So nothing spectacular here, but maybe which is also new is the folding case, which looks pretty similar to the one you get when you order a Meta Ray-Ban display. So you have one which is not always the same size, but you can put it together so that it's pretty flat, and you can charge your smart glasses up to 40 hours of additional battery life, which is great. So they even got the better case from the Meta Ray-Ban display. So we have the optic styles glasses features like the overextension hinges, the nose bridge, and the better folding case from the Ray-Ban display. And this all for the price of just $299 or 309 euros in Europe. They are made by EssilorLuxottica. Both companies confirmed that. And you can see the name EssilorLuxottica all over the press release from Meta. They inserted here a little joke. Don't know if you want to talk about that too much, but they are privacy first, which is, of course, the biggest joke somebody ever can do with smart glasses. But okay, they have to do it because they're convinced they actually care about privacy. Okay, so far from the spec side. Any comments on that, Thomas?
Yeah, I think almost the same as the earlier second gen version. Supposedly it has 6 hours one-time runtime. I don't think it's actually hitting those 8 hours. It's probably more like between 4 and 6 hours if you use them at all. And they have a button to turn them off, right? I think a sliding button to completely turn them off. That's a good thing. But imagine that would also somehow physically close the lenses or something like that. Like that would be a cool thing. That's not in there. So I think it's really very, very iterative, the changes. And it's more about the new styles and skipping the Ray-Ban branding. That gives them more flexibility, I think, to pump out more versions of it. You're not as stuck with a certain design language as you are with one brand. And like you said, the fit, they have the overextended hinges, but by that, they already fit more head sizes. But the more different styles you pump out, the more compatible you are with different face shapes and so on, skin colors. And so because it's a wearable device and it's a fashion device, basically you have to have much more variation in terms of the looks. And that's basically what they're doing, I think. The lucky thing on their side is glasses like that don't need a lot of RAM, so they don't have to charge €1,000 right now.
That's true.
Like with everything else, so they can keep the price low. I'm a bit surprised that it's probably because they want to like we discussed in earlier versions of the podcast. I still think they're making money on those, right? Some devices like the Quest 3 initially they certainly didn't make money on them, but on those smart glasses, I'm convinced they're making money on. So what I'm trying to say is I'm a bit surprised they wouldn't go even lower with a non-branded version. They could have done 200. Okay. And I probably still make money if they went for 200. But that's guessing. I'm not 100% sure what the costs are. But in terms of components, you don't need that much in there, right? So I think you could have also gone down to $200 for, and that's probably what they do when they go on sale then.
There are also new software features like dynamic photo, which is the best of 3 picks, you could say. It makes a couple of photos and then chooses which one is the best. Also adding support for 40 new languages to live translation, like including Japanese, Chinese, Hindi, and Korean. We have all been waiting for them. Concerning availability, they are already available. You can order them now and get them in 3 days, even in Germany. Absolutely no problem, starting at 309 euro. Transition glasses plus 90 euro, so a third of the cost of the glasses, which is always crazy when you get new glasses by yourself. People wearing glasses know that the frames itself are actually pretty cheap, but the glasses are expensive. The same here. And if you get transitions, you need 10 days more for delivery. But there's something interesting about the glasses. The press release says compatible with prescription lenses. So with the Meta Ray-Ban glasses and Oakley glasses, you can actually order your prescription lenses on the Meta store, or just walk into a Ray-Ban store and then get there your prescription stuff. But there are non-prescription lenses available at meta.com for the Meta glasses. So the solution, they say, is the RX lens swap feature, which means you can now change the lenses at a store without losing your guarantee. And the thing is, you did lose the guarantee before. So if you would have been walking into a Fielmann here in Germany and changed the lenses by myself, I would have lost the guarantee, which I actually did. So 2 years ago, that's actually what I did, because there haven't been any other lens choices back then in the Meta store. So I did that and of course lost the guarantee, and I didn't care because I wanted to have those lenses in my glasses. But now they have the option that you just buy your glasses, then walk into a Fielmann, and then you can put in your own prescription lenses, which also means it's just another step and it's uncomfortable, because at Fielmann you also have to wait a week again and then come back and then use the glasses. So that's also maybe a reason why they are a bit cheaper than the Meta Ray-Ban ones. And as I'm just editing this episode, I also want to add, if you walk into a Fielmann and order glasses to a frame you already have with you, you have to pay 50 euro extra, which is, of course, adding to the price of the glasses. And I find that very interesting for guys like me who actually use prescription lenses. That's actually a problem.
Yeah, I don't have glasses. I probably need them soon if I consider my close-up reading is getting worse. But yeah, it's interesting that you don't lose your warranty now when you switch them out as an optician. Yeah. So that's great.
Yeah, most of the articles, or all of the articles, don't have that in there, so that you cannot use your own prescription lenses. So I guess that's a very important information here. And depending the Kylie style glasses, they actually look funny. They look like the 90s glasses, like very narrow glasses throughout your face, like a band or something. If you see them, you actually immediately know what I mean with that. Some articles wrote it's a clone of the Google Gentle Monster frame we saw. Gentle Monster is also like EssilorLuxottica, a brand and a company doing frames, designer frames, and Google partnered with them, and we are expecting glasses in autumn, I guess. But it's actually not a clone, because when you are as a fashion guru like me, you know that those kind of glasses are actually the ones people want to wear again. So it's just very natural to choose these styles if you want to do something fashionable. And yeah, Kylie knows that, so she probably voted for them too. And that's not a clone. It's just natural in fashion, I'd say.
I think, what kind of glasses style hasn't been done yet, right? They keep coming back. And that's the whole point of, or a huge advantage of selling fashion, right? You can sell the same thing over and over and over and over. Yeah, naturally they have to make new styles to have to follow the trend or be the trendsetter, depending on how you look at it, and then you can sell the same thing again. That's wonderful.
Yeah, Anthony Vitillo. Yeah, very bad talking about fashion here, but yeah, I guess that's not
I
totally
mean,
wrong.
soon we'll have a fast fashion AI glasses. What a wonderful world.
I don't know about that, but yeah. Isn't it already fast fashion when the glasses cost $299? We have the problem of actual electronic littering of Africa and the world itself. So yeah, the question, if we really need more electronic devices, is a very good one. We will not discuss that here, but it is a good one. Anthony Vitillo, greetings to our beloved Italian XR influencer and expert from Italy, wrote on LinkedIn a post about those glasses and said something about the Kylie style. I quote him here. The only thing I liked, so should I do it in Italian accent? No. The only thing I liked is the idea of creating one of the glasses in collaboration with Kylie Jenner, who is an incredible popular fashion icon. I think this is a trend other smart glasses manufacturers can follow, since all eyewear manufacturers are now taken. It's time to look at the individuals that can design something cool to wear on the face. Yeah,
like we said, fashion.
Yes. And yeah, the trend maybe that now influencers are actually taking over, trying to do something cool with the glasses, and which helps the branding, of course, which also helps distribution. And that's why Meta, of course, used Kylie Jenner. Sophia Mashasha, co-founder of XR Women, has also a great take about that. She wrote a blog article on XR Women with the title, Why Meta's Kylie Jenner partnership could be a turning point for women in wearable AI. She says, entering its next chapter with that and reaching a more broader audience. And how and why is this happening? If smart glasses are going to become as common as smartphones or wireless earbuds, they won't get there through technical specifications alone. They'll get there because people begin to see them as something that complements their identity, style, and daily routines. And this is why Sophia really appreciates what Meta is doing here, taking a woman, which is a style icon, let her design in some way the glasses and put their name on it, and yeah, just makes her the face of those glasses.
If it becomes more of a general item, more of a commodity, more of a fashion statement, of course you have to address the individual desires and identities much more than with, let's say, for example, a VR headset that you're only using at home in your closed environment and no one really is looking at you. So that makes a lot of sense.
The glasses by Kylie, by the way, cost $419. So they are more expensive. And I mean, there are glasses out there which look similar like that. So that's not a new form factor or something like that. Nothing really unique. So the question is here actually, do I need the technical stuff in there or not? So the question is still if the technology in those glasses is actually important to women, or if the style is more important, and then they would probably just buy the style, right? So I'm wondering if this arguments Sophia has really counts bringing technology to women just because they are stylish. I'm not sure about that.
I would more doubt it the other way around. Like, that's kind of implying that, I don't want to overinterpret, but it's kind of implying a little bit that the women don't care about the tech and the specs, which I also don't think it's true. But it's great if we also have more, and I can definitely see that we have more women as professionals in XR, because especially in the beginning, it was pretty skewed to a more male developer audience and also consumers. So it's a great development in the right direction.
Yeah, and if we look at from a Meta perspective, not Meta the company, but the perspective flying over things, a Meta perspective, we started with technology, which works. Then we put a little bit of design around it. Then we actually used a brand. and now we are doing something like styles and fashion and icons. And maybe trying that out is, I guess, something we should do to try to find out if this works. And it has always been like that, like Apple has been doing it from the get-go. I guess the Walkman was a fashion statement since the 80s or something like that, so that's nothing really new.
But I think this is not quite on the same level. Remember the Apple campaigns about making white cable earphones fashionable, right? That was a very smart, very high volume, expensive campaign on making the whole world believe they now have to wear white cable earphones, right? In ear. And I don't see quite that level of engagement from Meta in terms of marketing yet.
Yeah, maybe they need also to add some white cables to the glasses.
I don't know what to say to that.
Okay, I counted the different styles which are now possible with Meta glasses. So all the Meta Ray-Bans, Gen 1, Gen 2, Oakley Meta Vanguard, Houston, all the different ones you can actually have there. There are now 73 different models, aka styles, possible only when you go with Meta. I find that is very impressive. And if you would walk into a Meta Lab, which is how they call their own stores they are building. They have, I think, 5 stores in the US, trying to make own stores like the Apple stores or the Ray-Ban stores. That would be full of glasses. So you could actually make that look really good with 73 different ones. Very impressive. And they will also could put there something new, which is the new charging stand, which is compatible with all the Gen 2 glasses, which looks like a corkscrew, to be honest, in stainless steel and costs $60. And yeah, you just put your glasses on it and it charges them. I guess it's good when you go to bed and you have multiple glasses and you want to display them. And also for the stores, they have probably also a good idea to have that stand, and why not also sell that? So they have a great stainless steel charging stand now. Yeah. Okay, so the question here is, why do they do it? Why do they do Meta glasses without EssilorLuxottica branding? One fantasy I had once in a sweaty night here, the heat wave in Germany was, maybe EssilorLuxottica had enough of all those image problems Meta has and said, okay, listen, if you want to continue working with us, you cannot use our brands anymore the same way. So we will not add more brands from what we already have. But of course, you can use all our manufacturing facilities. And Meta said, okay, then we have to make our own brand. And that's why they did it.
It could be. You could try to put that into it. There are also rumors that Essilor has more and more tech themselves and they want to put out their own version. I think there is an argument for this, the whole brand consideration, why you wouldn't want to add additional brands. But on the other hand, they have so many brands. I don't think it would matter too much if they added another one, right? And I don't know how bad I don't think they perceive it that bad themselves, right? I don't think it's at that level where it's generally perceived as an impact to the Ray-Ban brand. I don't think we're not at the glass whole moment kind of level. We might still get there, but I don't think it's had such a bad influence. That's why I don't know if that's really the reason. I mean, I think it's more a diversification of the product line, trying something else, being able to go cheaper, playing with different styles. It's more like pushing out stuff on the market so people have choices, and rather than thinking, do I want smart glasses, they're thinking, do I want these smart glasses or those smart glasses, right? So you give them options to make the purchase decision a different one. rather than go without or with the smart functionality. You say, do I want the Ray-Ban or do you want the Meta versions? And
I mean, of course, there is the argument that they did it because they wanted a cheaper version, and this was not possible with a brand from EssilorLuxottica. So they said, okay, we make it without a brand, which means we still use your manufacturing facility, but we don't do it without a brand or with our own brand. Absolutely valid explanation too, but I will not let you go with that brand thingy because there are brand manager. Let's just imagine somebody from Star Wars or Disney, which are so hesitant about what's happening with their brands that this could be some kind of influence. Like, okay, you want to do something more cheaper. It could also be a brand decision, right?
The Ray-Ban is a done deal, right? The Ray-Ban is out with Meta. It's combined. There is not much of a point on going back on that, right? Mm-hmm. Also, Ray-Ban, while being a very well-known global brand, you can get them relatively cheap, right? You can get them under 100 euros, regular Ray-Ban glasses. Yeah. So it's not like the super luxury brand. And I also, in terms of this fashion statement point that you had earlier, I think almost all of those glasses look mostly like normal glasses. They don't look like a big fashion statement. They don't look like, look at me, I'm going out, I have this new thing. They try to make it more normal rather than outstanding fashion. If you think about the last 10 years of Snap spectacles, they were much more outgoing. Look, this is something different. This is like bright colors, circular glasses. Some of the functionality was different. Like, even they tried to innovate on the way you look at and take pictures. If you remember, you could kind of look around in the pictures you took with earlier spectacles.
They could even fly in one iteration.
Do you mean the drone?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, there was a drone they made. Remember the one that launched from your hand and followed you and stuff like that? They tried to make that a thing. I think if the battery lasted longer, maybe. And they also purposely in the earlier version they made, like, if you remember, a yellow circle around the cameras to make it, and even like an LED circle around the cameras to make it super obvious. They're camera glasses, and I think Meta is
really popping out.
It's really going the other direction. They make it look more and more normal, almost hiding a little bit if they're smart glasses or not, to make it like a normal thing to have.
This goes into the direction what Ori Inbar said in the comments section of Anthony's post, actually. He said, a different reason, flooding the market with many designs make it harder for people in a coffee shop setting to identify the glasses that you should be wary about.
Yeah.
Very wise comment, I guess.
You could say that.
Yeah, very great take. I'd say this is, I'm pretty sure, like flooding the zone with shit is like flooding the market with glasses thing. Just push out whatever you have and make it as normal as possible, as fast as possible. And that's also why they are cheaper, why they look pretty normal. But I have to say, they don't look cheap at all. They are still high quality EssilorLuxottica glasses with good plastic optics. From the haptics, how the plastic feels, it's, I guess, the same or really close to what we are used from Ray-Ban or Oakley. In different shades, also different colors. I like the green ones, for example. No idea if they fit me, but they look good on the photos, on the pictures. They look attractive. They're very well made photos there. And of course, I want to see them in a store and try them all out to actually be able to judge if they look cheap or not. But they look almost the same quality as the Ray-Ban. So,
but do you see, even with us deep into this tech, and I think a lot of the reviewers online, the discussion shifts, right? It's becoming more and more about how it looks, how it feels, and only on the second level about specs or functionality. And I think that's on purpose, but still, why wear them if they don't fit a certain use case for you? So I do think there's some scenarios where they're helpful, like reading out a notification that came in right while you're wearing glasses without putting in earphones, taking a call quickly, right? Maybe taking some video from first person view. So their translation, I'm already a bit hesitant until they really nail it. It's kind of getting better and better, but it's not like Star Trek level where you like feel like you're just in a fluid conversation. It's not.
That's what Snap is for. Yeah,
not quite there yet.
Yeah,
but almost. Then you always have to remember it's an open headphone design. So first of all, you always hear everything in the environment, but also other people potentially hear what they're playing to you. So that's also a trade-off again, right? Do you want everyone standing next to you in the subway to hear the message that your wife just sent you?
You cannot hear
I'm
that.
not sure.
I tried that with full power.
Close enough.
You have to be very close, like really almost ear to ear to hear that. And in a train station or something where it's a little bit louder, you do not hear that actually. So.
And by the way, that's at the same time, it is a disadvantage for the listener as well, because in loud environment, it's relatively hard to understand.
Yes.
The glasses, because
these are not in-ear noise
low.
canceling technology, but just open ear things. And they considered that and said, okay, we could also do bone conducting stuff and decide against it because like 10-15% of the people do not like that feeling and would decide against the glasses. So they decided we make open ear. That Bosworth once explained it in a Q&A. Why do they do it like that? Like really pushing hard on the fashion aspect and that these are just normal glasses because that's the best use case you can have, right? You need glasses. These are glasses, buy glasses. That's the way they want to go. If you are in a store and you have a broad variety of different glasses, you accidentally should take a Meta glasses because you like them more as a fashion statement or just because they are beautiful glasses with fit to your face. And then they have also the technology. And this is the way they want to go, I guess. And just being glasses is probably the best marketing you can do to make them normal. Yeah, welcome to Fashion Realities, your podcast for all things concerning your technology fashion. We're rebranding tomorrow. Stay tuned.
What's also, I think, interesting at least is right now they don't seem to be pushing that much on the asking meta questions thing. They do mention it, of course. They do say it understands your environment. We could discuss how much does it really understand your environment. There isn't that much there yet, and that would be opening a lot of use cases anyway. Like if they would actually have a bit more scene understanding and understanding of your surrounding. And again, then we're discussing the privacy trade-off. But in the most obvious stuff they're pushing for is taking videos and having the audio. So I think they start realizing also what most people are actually using them for currently. Right? Even though they say you can't ask, hey Meta, play a song, or hey Meta, where do you pick up a taxi? They're going for that as well. But I think they probably see also in their use statistics that it's a guess on my side that it's not used as much. And I would wonder, if I was Meta, I would wonder why. Why is that? Is it because the understanding isn't good enough? Is it because our AI models can't compete with ChatGPT or Gemini, and that's why people still use their phones for it? Is it because if you do research, you anyway want to have more contextual information than just a quick audio answer? But if I think about how I use Alexa versus how I use Gemini, it's a whole different approach, right? If I use Gemini, it's much more, it's usually a much broader thing. If I use Alexa, it's like asking for the weather or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think right now we're more in the asking for the weather territory for smart glasses rather than anything really intense or smart.
Yeah. By the way, concerning fashion icons, another Thomas Müller, right now at the Fußball WM, World Championship, FIFA Championship in the US, was rocking around with those glasses. Moritz Meyer mentioned that on LinkedIn. Greetings to you, colleague. Also, of course, what is the use case here? He's an influencer in that respect, and he's providing his perspective in a video, which works very well. So the interactions are great on those videos. People feel involved. There's more kind of a pseudo relationship to that person. Makes absolutely sense for influencers. But of course, influencers are not the main target group here.
Yeah.
Cannot be. These are just a couple of people and will not sell the 100 millions they want to sell.
And I think that use case was never in doubt. That was also why the specs were first marketed to influencers, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a proper use case there.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so you can also develop for those glasses. We are the Spatial Realities podcast, not the Fashion Realities podcast. So with all ETA is doing with agentic and vibe coding stuff, you can do that for those glasses too. And they're not display glasses, of course, but you can do your app and just use them as you already use the Meta Ray-Ban glasses. So no problem with that. That's good news, I guess. And what else can we say about them?
You put it in your sheet and our show notes for ourselves. And I've also heard the news that Meta is giving away the glasses, AI glasses, to potentially all legally blind veterans in the US, which is over 100,000 people, that's a pretty high number. I was kind of shocked to hear that number, but I guess America has a strong military. And I'm always a bit torn with these things, I have to say, because I think it's a wonderful initiative. But I'm always thinking, is it a marketing spin? Is it like just to get it to everyone? Or do they really just mean good by that? And I hope the later. And I think that can be wonderful, this whole Be My Eyes integration.
It's awesome.
Meaning like people talking to you and seeing for you. That's a wonderful use case. And I really think smart glasses, that's where the real strength is. You can really augment someone's life. You can really augment something they're lacking. Or I would always argue too, especially for those use cases, you have to start with making a trustworthy and safe environment first, and then do all this stuff.
Yeah, I think you have probably also met people from Meta before, and it's a huge company. Even though they fired a lot of people, it's still a huge company, and there are good people there. And sometimes those good people can do good stuff. And so that's the problem with big companies. And one side, they have sometimes policies which are really not arguably bad. I will talk about that in a second. And then there are people who can actually do good stuff, and this is maybe the result of something like that. Although we do not agree about everything Meta is doing, this might be actually a great initiative, and it's great for every blind veteran out there. So in the US, that's actually nice, and nothing more to say about that. And congrats to everybody at Meta who makes that possible. Besides all the things happening at Meta, it's great. Now the big question: will I suggest the Meta glasses? I mean, to be honest, they look great. I'm tempted to get new ones because my Gen 1 ones I wear right now, the microphones do not work anymore. To be honest, yeah, they're broken. If I have a phone call with somebody, they don't understand me anymore. Even checking the button in the preferences, optimize the microphones.
Do you clean them?
I clean them every day.
Maybe ultrasonic cleaning.
Ultrasonic will destroy the electronics.
Yeah, I was just going to say, maybe then they don't work at all anymore.
Maybe checking out the microphone holes. There are little microphone holes. Maybe there is some stuff in there. Yeah. But of course, I think it's too deep inside and it just don't work anymore. So I'm tempted by that. Really tempted because the new Meta glasses, especially the bigger ones, look tempting, look nice. At the same time, I'm going even that far to say nobody should right now in Europe buy Meta glasses. And the reason is because Meta is not caring at all about the laws in EU. They don't care and think their view is the only view in the world and everybody has to adapt to that. And I think that's not right and that's not the right thing to do. Just one example, if you want to use Meta AI with the new Spark technology inside, you have to agree the user license that you give all your data free to train the AI models. And we Europeans have some kind of feelings here. And this needs to be respected. And if I want to opt out of that, I still want to use the technology Meta AI. So this is not possible right now. If I use Meta AI, I have to agree that the data can be used. If I don't want to agree to that, I have to deactivate Meta AI, which is like taking away the other half of the technology of the glasses. And there's actually a law in the EU prohibiting that. So you're actually not allowed to bind the usage of data to functions on a device. The problem is no courtyard has done any rulings with that. So it's some kind of gray area they are using here. And what the EU should do is start a trial here to make a statement. And that's the problem. So,
well, if you have the US government then threaten 100% tolls on top of everything just for going against the companies, then it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why you have to vote with your feet, as we say in Germany or in the EU, and just be a very educated Democrat and consider not buying the Meta glasses.
Puts you in a tricky position, Thomas, right? Because you're worried and you consider buying them. So
absolutely,
you have to make a decision.
And this is the world we are living in, right? So it's tempting. I'm a journalist writing about that stuff. I'm even organizing a hackathon, and I have to say no to something. And that's hard, but that's a job, you know? There are other glasses coming soon. We have autumn, hot fall. How do you say? Autumn or fall? I'm very bad with that.
Both.
Okay, a hot autumn fall.
Not both at the same time.
We're waiting for glasses from HTC, from Samsung, from Google, and check out the smart glasses guide. There are 78 different models in there, and also models for, especially for blind people. So you have the choice to use other glasses to have the same features that Meta is offering also for blind people, which is great. So yeah, I guess that's a little bit of pity here and a bad ending for Meta. But of course, this is an evolving story. I'm covering this story since over 2.5 years, and I'm having my eyes on them. And yeah, maybe we can, with our little report, take care that enough people care also at Meta and make Meta a little bit more compatible to EU laws and to the people here in Europe.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong. I mean, you, as a journalist, you can buy them, you can try them out, you can experiment with them. Doesn't mean you have to wear them every day, all day long.
That's true. All right. I guess that's the end, not of the world, but of this episode of the podcast. Thank you very much, Thomas, joining us once again. And do you consider buying one? It's summer. You need one.
Not of those. Not of those. And that was episode 132 of Spatial Realities.
If you enjoyed the podcast, we'd really appreciate it if you recommended it to others. Feel free to share the episodes on social media, maybe on Facebook, send them to colleagues and friends, and leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Also, a quick reminder about our Discord server. You can find a link to in the show notes or at spatialrealities.de.
My name is Thomas Bedenk.
I'm Thomas Riedel.
Thanks for tuning in and see you next time.
See you.
Bye.